Why do 95% of smart, ambitious online entrepreneurs stay stuck at the same income level while a tiny 5% break through to true freedom? I spent years obsessed with this question, and what I discovered will blow your freaking mind. What's up? This is Johannes, and in the next 15 minutes, I'll reveal the hidden mental viruses running in your brain that are sabotaging your results and the exact protocol to delete them for good. Look, I'm not here to bullshit you or impress you, but I went from 80k in debt where I lost everything: company, house, girlfriend. I was so screwed, I've been living in a friend's pool house. To multiple six figures, working with billion-dollar companies, consulting the godfather of marketing, Dr. Cialdini, with the modern way of marketing, and training hundreds of agency owners just like you every week, where I help them to double or even triple their revenue in record time. Not because I'm special, but because I figured out something that nobody talks about. You'll see real stories of entrepreneurs who went from stuck 3 to 5k months to 30k plus, not by learning another strategy, but by finally debugging the mental viruses that were blocking their implementation. And now the most important part. I'm not just a coach who decided one day to coach agency owners because I didn't find a better niche. I'm an agency owner myself. I've been in the trenches. I'm still in the trenches every day. I know exactly how you're feeling, right? Here are a few of my numbers. And here you can see as well, for example, Smart Lead, I won the prize for the top 5% in replies and the top 5% in positive replies, right? Worldwide, it's so that even Viper calls me a fucking legend. Levi calls me a holy professional outbound cracker. And Rob calls me the greatest of all time. If you don't know these guys, these are the owner and co-owner of Agency Velocity at this time, all right? And here I have coached over 2.5 years people like you and helped them to double or triple the revenue in record time through deleting mental blockers and basically leading you back to your natural success mindset. Here are a few examples, right? Konstantin from 3K to 29K in 90 days. Noah from 5K to 32K in 90 days. Borislav tripled his revenue in 60 days. And James went from 10K to 30K in 60 days to also triple his revenue. As you can see, I know exactly what I'm doing and I know exactly how I can help you guys. You are a young male online entrepreneur, 18 to 45, ambitious as hell, always learning, always hustling, but you still feel like you're not where you should be? Let me ask you something painful. How many courses are sitting on your hard drive right now that you never finished? How many strategies do you know would work, but you can't get yourself to implement them consistently? You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? The gap between knowing and doing that's eating you alive inside. You start projects, get 80% done, and then abandon them for the next shiny object. You procrastinate on the most important task, the one that would move the needle. You watch other entrepreneurs implement the exact same strategies you know about and scale to six figures while you stay stuck. And here's the worst part. You blame yourself. You think, maybe I'm just not disciplined enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. If you catch yourself thinking, who am I to charge premium rates? Or I need more experience first. If you avoid big opportunities because that voice in your head whispers, you're not ready yet. If you undercharge because deep down you don't believe in your own value, this is for you. But if you're looking for another shiny tactic or you think the next hack will save you, just close this video right now because I'm not here to waste your time. Well, here's what nobody tells you. This is going to sound crazy, but stay with me here. Your business isn't stuck because you lack knowledge, skills, or work ethic. You're not stuck because you need another strategy or another course. You're stuck because you're running multi-million-dollar strategies on a mental operating system infected with what I call mental viruses. These are invisible lines of corrupted code, limiting beliefs, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, perfectionism, fear of visibility, you name it, that were installed in your brain by parents, teachers, society, and past failures. And here's the kicker that will blow your mind. Your brain operates 95% on subconscious programming. 95%. That means nearly all your actions, decisions, and results are controlled by programming you're not even aware of. So while you're constantly trying to implement strategies, your subconscious is running programs like, who are you to succeed at this level? You're going to fail anyway, so why try? You need more knowledge before you're ready. What will people think if you fail? Sounds familiar? Until you debug these mental viruses, you will keep sabotaging your own success, no matter how hard you work or how many new strategies you learn. It's literally impossible to outperform your mental programming. But here's what will blow your fucking mind. And this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. You already have everything you need to succeed. You were born with it. Every single child is born with a natural success mindset. Think about it. When you were learning to walk, right? You fell down 50, maybe 100 times. Did you ever think, maybe walking isn't for me? Did you worry about what the neighbors would think? Hell no! You just get back up and try it again until you fucking succeeded. When you learn to ride a bike, same thing. You crashed, you got back up, you tried again. No self-doubt, no imposter syndrome, no voice telling you, who are you to think you can ride a bike? That fearless implementation power is still inside you right now. It's just buried under layers of mental viruses that society instilled to keep you small. The voice telling you you can't do this isn't your voice, it's corrupted code. Your authentic self, your natural success programming knows you can do this. It's been waiting for you to debug the viruses and set it free. This isn't about becoming someone new. This is about removing what's blocking who you've always been. Well, let me tell you how I discovered this. Because it was exactly where you are right now. 9 years ago, I'm standing on this balcony in Marbella, Spain, staring at the sea. My business was 80K in debt, I didn't speak the language, and I was suffering from a devastating breakup. Behind me were years of success. Top personal trainer worldwide on cruise ships, sold over 1 million from stage, traveled to 172 countries. But in that moment, I'd gone from being on top of the world to feeling like a complete fraud. My life had literally turned from gold to shit. Every morning I wake up with this crushing weight on my chest. My heart would race with anxiety about how I'd make it through another day. The shame was horrible. The voices in my head were relentless. You are has-been. You just got lucky before. Who are you kidding, Jonas? You're not cut out for this. And the worst part, I believed them. Every single word. I had done everything the success gurus told me to do. I read all the books, Think and Grow Rich, Check, The Secret, you name it. Hired coaches, created vision boards, recited affirmations until my throat was raw. I could quote Wallace Wattles' success principles in my sleep, and yet there I was, broken, and more lost than ever. The gap between what I knew and what I was actually doing was destroying me inside. But when I was literally at rock bottom, after losing my company, my girlfriend, and finally my flat, which forced me to live in a friend's pool house, came my breakthrough moment. Leaving for yet another business book when a realization hit me like a lightning bolt. What if the problem wasn't my strategy? What if the problem was my fucked up mental operating system those strategies were trying to run on? When I discovered the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton on neuroplasticity and subconscious programming, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't just need motivation or strategies. I needed a complete neural rewiring. My brain was running corrupted software. For 12 weeks straight, I immersed myself in reprogramming techniques. Every single day, I combined Dispenza's meditation with Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club discipline, dragging myself out of bed at 4:45 a.m. for intense mental debugging sessions. But I didn't stop there. I went all in, exploring every avenue that could help me identify and delete my mental viruses. Cognitive behavioral techniques, shadow work, NLP, breathwork, combining everything into a comprehensive system for debugging and rewiring my mind. What I discovered is something the most successful entrepreneurs throughout history have known intuitively. Your results aren't determined by your knowledge, but by your mental operating system. And finally, it all made sense. And I started to understand why people always say that success is 80% mindset and 20% skills. The transformation wasn't gradual, it was explosive. Within months, my business began to turn around. Not because I was using new strategies, but because I had debugged the mental viruses that had preventing me from implementing what I already knew. And it's not just me. Let me tell you about some of the people I've worked with who were in the exact same mental prison that you are maybe in right now as well. Let me tell you about Borislav, because what happened to him will show you exactly how powerful this debugging process really is. Borislav was stuck in what I call the overcomplication trap. So many are stuck in that. The invisible loop where he'd sabotage himself by making everything more complex than it needed to be. Listen to what he told me. I constantly tell myself that I had to build more systems or perfect my service delivery before going after bigger clients. But deep down, it was just fear of being seen. I masked it as preparation, but it was actually avoidance. Can you hear the self-awareness here? Borislav knew what he was doing, but he couldn't stop himself. That's the power of mental viruses. They hijack your logical brain and make you sabotage your own success. But here's where it gets incredible. After we debugged this fear of visibility virus, everything changed overnight. Look at what Borislav said.
I mean, after debugging at least those like core mental viruses that I spoke of, so the two, immediate would be that I actually landed 2 new high-value clients within weeks of identifying that. So funny thing is, and I believe like every business owner listening to this now, there was no new offer, no extra funnel work, just literally following through on actions that I knew I should follow through and like removing the self-sabotage from my life. So again, I'm going to repeat this for the business owners. You don't need a new offer. You don't need a new funnel. You literally just need to debug your own mind, because your business comes from your personal well-being. If you're not treating yourself right, your business is going to suffer. So of course, revenue jumped substantially when I became more happy and positive, because there is a direct correlation there. Beyond the money, obviously, what made this ROI wild was that it felt simple. Like I didn't have to burn out anymore. I didn't have to, as I said, hustle extensively to achieve these new deals. I just had to show up, be a quality person, and actually care about, the people that I work with, and obviously just owning my value and feeling that I deserve what I get in life. I would say it's kind of like night and day, just because of the weight that was on my shoulders, which stems from the root causes that I identified. So overthinking everything, kind of second guessing myself, and basically burning so much energy on just battling the resistance. The biggest difference, like, again, I don't waste energy trying to kind of prove myself or play mental games. I just do the thing that I know I should be doing. And that's powerful, because the only person I'm trying to impress right now is me. So
from constant overthinking to crystal clarity, from hiding behind preparation to showing up with confidence, from burning energy fighting himself to channeling that energy into execution. Revenue tripled in 60 days. This is what happens when you stop being your own worst enemy and start being your own best ally. Well, let me tell you about James, one of my clients, because his story will blow your mind. Here's the crazy part. James had everything he needed to succeed. He'd invested in the top agency courses. He knew exactly how to acquire clients, how to deliver results. The knowledge was all there. But month after month, he stayed stuck at 10K, constantly spinning his wheels, watching other agency owners with the same knowledge scale past him. James was trapped in an invisible prison of his own making. During Limitless Rewired, we discovered his most shocking mental virus. James had tied his self-worth to those undefined financial milestones, a virus implanted 10 years ago when he failed a big school exam, which made it literally impossible for him to ever feel successful or enjoy the journey. No matter what he achieved, it was never enough because the virus kept moving the goalpost. But here's where it gets incredible. Once we deleted this virus, and James realized it was momentum, not money, that truly fulfilled him, everything exploded. His revenue jumped from barely touching 10K to crossing 30K monthly in just 60 days. Same strategies, same knowledge. The only difference, we debugged his mental operating system. But listen to James himself and what he said about the real transformation.
So basically, to put this in context, so when we first started talking and first started doing first started working through the course, we were kind of floating we were kind of just kissing 10K, and now we're at a stage where we're sort of like, well, if everything, touch wood, goes to plan, then we should be crossing 30K this month. So obviously there's a lot of work gone into that. So I'm not like, don't get me wrong, Limitless UI is fucking fantastic. Got to give the team some credit as well. Yeah. But yeah, you know, it has really massively helped. I think as well, being in the sort of the leadership position, it's like if I'm all over the place and I'm chaotic and can't sort of get that clarity that I need and that the business needs, then I can't transfer that to the team, and then it's going to transfer to client results. And so it's yeah, ROI wise, it's absolutely massive. Like at the end of the day, you're going to spend your entire life with your mind, and as we were saying before this call, you know, it's like the business is a reflection of you, and if you're all over the place mentally and you're kind of getting in your own way, then naturally it's going to hinder your business and everything else that comes with it.
10K to 30K, from constant to self-doubt to unshakable confidence, from feeling like an intern to feeling like a CEO, all because we debugged the mental viruses that were running his life. This is what happens when you stop fighting your own brain and start working with it. This isn't luck, this is magic. This is what happens when you debug your mental operating system and stop fighting against your own brain. And here are a few more people that I helped. I'm sure you have already started asking yourself, so what's the solution? This is exactly what I need as well. I call it the Neural Implementation Protocol, or NIP for short. The NIP is the world's first systematic method for identifying and permanently removing society-instilled mental viruses that block your execution. This neurological debugging system bypasses conscious resistance to reprogram your implementation pathways at the operating system level, where 95% of your decisions actually happen. Unlike traditional approaches that focus on motivation or willpower, this operates at the source code level of your mental operating system. Well, here's how it works. Phase 1, virus detection. We map your current mental operating system and identify exactly which viruses are running. Most people have no freaking clue what's actually running in their brain. We make the invisible visible. We identify the specific mental execution blockers that create the gap between knowing and doing. Is it the I'm not ready yet virus? The who am I to charge premium rates virus? The I need perfect conditions virus? Phase 2, neural debugging. We trace each virus back to its origin, that moment when it got installed. Maybe it was a teacher in 3rd grade who told you you'd never amount to anything. Maybe it was a parent who said, don't get too big for your britches. Maybe it was a failure that made you believe you're not cut out for success like in James' case. We expose these viruses for what they really are, foreign code installed by others, not your authentic programming. Once you see that the voice saying you can't do this isn't your voice, everything changes. And phase 3, system rewiring. We don't just remove the viruses, we install powerful new success programming in their place. We strengthen neural pathways that automatically generate implementation. We create what I call an indestructible force shield that protects you from mental operating system from future virus infections. The beauty of this approach is that it works with whatever strategies you already know. This isn't about giving you more to do. It's about removing the invisible barriers that have been preventing you from doing what you already know you should be doing. Look, maybe you're thinking, I've tried this mindset work before, but it didn't work. I get it. I was skeptical too, but that's because most approaches are like putting a band-aid on a computer virus. Traditional mindset work tries to overpower limiting beliefs with positive thinking. It's like turning up your computer speakers to drown out the sound of a failing hard drive. It might mess the problem temporarily, but it doesn't fix the underlying issue. The neural implementation protocol is fundamentally different. We're not trying to add more positive thoughts on top of negative ones. We're identifying and permanently deleting the corrupted code from your mental operating system. Or maybe you think, My situation is different, more complex. I've tried everything. Trust me, I've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs, different backgrounds, different challenges, different mental viruses. But here's what I've discovered. The specific content of your challenges is unique, yes, but the structure of the corrupted code is universal. Whether you're dealing with imposter syndrome, perfectionism, fear of visibility, overthinking, or any other manifestation of the debugging process, it all works the same way. It's like removing different viruses from a computer. The virus removal tool works regardless of which specific virus you're dealing with. The reason other approaches haven't worked isn't because you're broken or unfixable. It's because they've been targeting the symptoms, not the root cause in your neural pathways. Close your eyes for a minute. Trust me here, it's worth it. Really close them. Ready? Great. Breathe in deeply through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time. Breathe in deeply through your nose and out through your mouth. Now imagine waking up tomorrow with a completely debugged mental operating system. The mental viruses that have been sabotaging your implementation are gone permanently. You stop overthinking everything and just freaking execute. What would you do differently? How would you show up in your business? Would you raise your prices to what you know they should be? Would you approach those premium clients you've been avoiding? Would you build the team you know you need to scale? Now imagine those actions becoming automatic, your natural state, rather than something you have to force yourself to do. Imagine implementation becoming as natural as breathing. This is what happens when you debug your mental operating system. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you've removed what was blocking who you've always been. Open your eyes. Here's your choice. You can keep running on corrupted code, keep buying courses you never fully implement, keep watching others succeed with the exact same knowledge you have. Keep feeling the gap between your potential and your reality grow wider every day. Or you can finally debug the viruses and access the implementation power you were born with. The choice is yours. But understand this. Every day you delay is another day of leaving money on the table, another day of staying stuck, another day of that voice in your head winning. Look, I'm not going to pitch you some course or program right now. What I will tell you is this. If you're serious about debugging your mental operating system and finally implementing at the level you know you're capable of, I want to have a conversation with you. I work with a very small number of entrepreneurs every month to implement the neural implementation protocol. We identify your specific mental viruses, we debug them systematically, and we rewire your brain for automatic implementation. This isn't for everyone. I only work with people who are ready to do the deep work, who understand that this is the foundation everything else builds upon. If that's you, if you're tired of knowing what to do but not doing it, if you're ready to stop running on corrupted code and start accessing your natural implementation power, if you're done with the gap between your potential and reality, then book a call with me. Use the link or button below and we'll have a conversation about your specific situation. On this call, I will help you directly to identify the mental blockers that are holding you back. And if it makes sense for both of us, I show you exactly how the neural implementation protocol can transform your business and your life. Just like I helped Konstantin, Noah, James, Hjalte, and Adam. They all hit a one-on-one with me. And the results are here. But I need you to understand something. This isn't about learning more strategies. You already know enough. This is about finally being able to implement what you know. Here's the thing. Every month you delay is another month of running on corrupted code. Every month is another 10K, 20K, maybe even 50K left on the table because you're not implementing what you already know. I only take on a handful of clients at a time because this work requires my personal attention. When those spots are filled, they're filled. And here's what I know about you. If you don't take action right now, you'll watch this video, feel inspired for a day or two, then go back to the same old patterns. The same mental viruses will kick in, the same self-sabotage will happen. But if something inside you resonated with this message, if you recognize that your mental operating system needs debugging, if you're finally ready to stop being your own worst enemy, don't wait. Book the call now. You were born with a natural success mindset. Every child is, but society, parents and teachers, past failures, they install corrupted code that's been running your life ever since. The voice that tells you you can't do this isn't your voice. It's corrupted code installed by a society that profits from your limitation. It's time to debug that code. It's time to reclaim your natural implementation power. It's time to become the entrepreneur you were meant to be before the world told you who you should be. Click below, book the call, let's debug your mind together, let's freaking do this, and I'll see you on the other side.